Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new Paint and Talk, and maybe I come with a device that is quite basic, I think, but sometimes we forget about this one. Okay, and it's first of all, if you want to learn a technique, you have to practice. And the second point is don't be scared of mistaking. We all make mistakes, and I'm in anything that where we learn we make mistakes, and I think we are all of us, we are scared of making mistakes and ruining something, but at the end the only way or one of the ways to learn is by making mistakes and learning from them. So the first point is I think it's great to watch tutorials, and I do them because I think it's a good source for the people to learn how to paint, and it's something that I did not have when I start painting. They were not YouTube, they were very content tutorials, they were not video tutorials. All the tutorials were more on magazines, White Dwarf for example, other modelist magazines, or you had to do presential classes, right? Presential tutorials. So you were hiring a person to show you how to paint. When I was going to university, we had a family shop where we were selling miniatures. Okay, and we had the advantage that we were able to organize some classes to paint models, and in that moment was more he was explaining how to do historicals and how to do also fantasy models. He is a very well-known modeler in Spain. He has the paints called Mick. Okay, he has all the poses called Mick. So I'm talking about Miguel. So I was very fortunate to meet him. This I'm talking about 15 years ago, maybe more. Yeah, it was 20 years ago, because I was 22, 23 that age. So we are talking about 20 years ago. I was very fortunate to meet him. He was already an incredible modeler, incredible painter. He was appearing in the magazines. Well, I'm deviating too much from the topic. The point here is the way to learn, and how he was teaching as well, is by practicing. You have to they was showing the technique, okay, but then you have to practice this technique. If you don't practice the technique that he's sharing, you will never learn. Okay, this is quite basic, but sometimes it looks like that we forgot about that, or we are too much concerned on making a mistake. And at the end, what happens if you make a mistake on one of your miniatures? If it's really ruined, you can always buy a new one. So try to practice on miniatures that are replaceable, or you can just remove the paint and start again. So the risk, if you think about the risk, is mainly time, what you're going to lose. Okay, it's mainly time, but the benefits are huge. When you start practicing a new technique, the benefits are huge, because it's going to tell you how to paint miniatures. It's the only way to learn how to paint miniatures. Okay, and as well, all of us, there is nobody painting miniature that does not make mistakes. And one of the things we need to learn, and we forgot about explaining that in most of the tutorials, and I think I will try to do it more when I do mistakes. Maybe I should do a video about correcting mistakes or type of mistakes that I do, and sharing them on camera, and how we can dissimulate, and to show that I make mistakes continually. In any miniature I paint, I'm pretty sure I will make a mistake somewhere. Okay, I will get confused, I will get fooled, I will not understand the miniature maybe. I'm not clear what means this part of the miniature. I painted on one color, then I realize that it's not matching. So we all do this type of mistakes. So the important thing is to learn how to correct mistakes. And this is another part of the learning that is overlooked a lot of times. Okay, so yeah, this is all what I want to come. I was to say that yeah, nobody is born knowing. So also in that case I was talking about Miguel, he has also to learn. Mick, how most of the people know him, Mick also had to learn how to paint miniatures and had to take risk and most probably he makes his own mistakes. But how he was learning to paint is practicing, practicing, and practicing. And this is what he was communicating to all the people that was doing tutorials with him or was doing classes with him. The only way to really learn how to paint is practicing and mistaking. Okay, so if you never mistake, you are not learning, because it means that you are not testing new techniques and you are not so you are not putting yourself into, you are not testing yourself, right? If you are not making mistakes, it means that you are painting something that you are really having a lot of control on that, so you are going to make very little mistakes, right? This is the only way to avoid mistakes. So this is all what I want to talk in this video. So don't be scared of making mistakes. We all, and when I say we, I mean any people, any person painting miniatures. For example, here this is too stark, okay? You see, you can see this very easily. So that this is going to be, I need to check once I do the wash, it's going to be better. But you can see that I can even do mistakes making bases. But sometimes I discover things by mistakes, by doing mistakes. Some of the things that I do today maybe was a mistake in a moment, and then I realized that there was another way, or was an interesting way to do it. So I think I will leave it like that. I'm not that displeased. So yeah, and leave it again. So this is the following of my rambles and paint and talk. So practice. So I will say, watch, understand how it's done, practice, check if what you have understand is what really is working or not, relook the video sometimes, or relook the technique, or check with other people using the same technique, because maybe you are taking something different from the technique if it's not working, okay? And maybe it's a technique that you don't like and then you stop using. But I will say that, and normally this is what is a percentage that appears over there, but it's considered that our experience is teaching us more than really reading or watching. So we have much more memory if we practice than if we just watch. Just put, for example, in computing, okay? You have a new software to learn. You can read manual after manual after manual of this software, but you will not understand how the software works until you start using it. Okay, of course you need a base. Okay, it's not, there are software that you need first to understand. You need a teacher, you need a book, you need a video, you need something to teach you how to start doing the first steps. And maybe and then you need to practice with the software. And once you know something about the software and you start doing things, then you need to watch again other tutorials for more advanced usage. And this is the way to learn a software as well, okay? The same is for miniatures. You start with basic techniques, you start with basic painting, you practice, you get, how it's called this, memory on how to use a brush, you get precision, you learn how to use a brush. And then once you have you start using this, or you start controlling this technique, and you go back and you watch for another technique, you practice this new technique mixed with the old ones, so you don't need to abandon the old ones, and in that way you keep advancing. And I find this is the way to go. Okay, this is the way to go in any type of learning, except I guess if it's, I was going to put another example. I studied physics. Okay, physics, a lot of people think that you have to read or I will say memorize a lot. Yeah, it is a part of memorization, but for me the most important, how I was learning physics, how I was learning, understanding how it works, is by doing solving problems, right? Solving exercises. So I practice a lot, and most of my learning was by practicing exercise after exercise, and then taking each time a more difficult approach, and then learning the new type of theory, or new type of approach, or new type of tools, because at the end maths, it's all about tools and how you use them to solve this new problem, or this new this new problem, or this new exercise, and then you go for the next exercise. Here is the same. So you start with something. I recommend start with a miniature, simple miniature, right? And Space Marine is a very simple miniature to start with, just one with helmet, so you don't need to do faces. You start painting, just applying the base color, right? Applying nice thin layers of base color. Once you have control on that, then you start practicing with washes. You can do both things at the same time. I mean, I'm simplifying to the extreme now. On the Space Marine, more likely dry brushing is not the best technique. You can do, once you have more control with your brush, you can start doing edge highlighting. You can practice, as I see, dry brushing on the bases. So dry brushing, because at the end, bases is a great, for me the bases and the terrain is the best element to practice techniques. How I start practicing to use my pigments is on bases and on pieces of terrain, where if I screw up or I dirt too much, I can always solve it, right? If the basis looks too dirt, you do a wash, more or less, you put even a turf there, and then it's covered the mistake, right? So I think I'm rambling a little bit too much, but let's summarize here. So don't be scared of making mistakes. We all make mistakes. Practice, 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 and practice is the way to learn how to brush. The way how you know how much pressure you have to apply when you're doing a dry brush. You only can know that by practicing. Okay. Most of the people say do very gentle and softly, but what that means is it's like cooking. Put a little bit of salt. What means a little bit of salt? Because this depends on everybody, right? Here is a little bit the same. So, and I like to put a lot of examples when I'm explaining, because I think we can look around other examples, other things we do in our lives, and we can reapply this on miniature painting, because at the end, the way of learning, the way of mastering a technique, it's more or less the same, but of course adapting to what you want to master. And I think that is going to be all. So again, I stopped the summarize. Don't be scared of mistaking. We all make mistakes. Don't be scared of screwing up a miniature. You always can strip the paint or buy a new miniature and keep it that as a learning. I have a lot of terrible miniatures, and practice new techniques. Try to find new techniques. Try to practice and practice. So read, watch a video, memorize, or try to practice. Watch back the video, practice, and in that way go back on another video but about the same topic, and keep practicing, and practice while you are watching the video, because the way to learn is like if you go to a presential class, right? If you go to a painting class, you go with miniatures, you go with brushes, and then you normally the teacher is explaining your technique, and then it's your time to practice the technique. Here, watching videos should be the same. You watch the video, you see the technique, and then you try to reproduce it in your own miniature. Okay? And I think this is the best way to get benefit on the painting tutorials. And that's all. That's all for this video. I hope it was interesting for you. I hope you have enjoyed this discussion, or this chat, or this conversation, or monologue. Remember that I'm doing the giveaway. So you have not entered in the giveaway, please remember to enter in the giveaway. And yeah, you can support me in just by liking, by commenting, by sharing your opinion about the Paint and Talk, and also you can support me in Patreon. And I also have a virtual shop where I'm trying to do my best, editing pictures and making fancy mugs based on my miniatures, because I think my craft is on the miniature painting, and I want to give a little bit of portion of my painting in these mugs, t-shirts and other elements. I have also posters. I'm also working on having, there is a lot of stickers, so there is a lot of prices, and I will put a voucher discount in the description below. So you will find there's a 20% discount on anything that you will buy in this shop. Okay, so that's all for now. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please let me know what do you think about what I talk here about learning. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye!